Hey, what's up everybody? So I'm making this video because I wanted to answer some questions and clear up some misconceptions about the Alfa Romeo Giulia. A lot of people think that these cars are unreliable inherently because they're Alfa Romeos or whatever. That is just straight up fiction. That is not the truth. But there are some caveats and I want to address those in this video. The first things first, there are two types of Alfa Romeo Giulia. There's the one that you see before you that has the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, and then there's a 6-cylinder 2.9-liter twin turbo, which is in the Quadrifoglio model of the Giulia, and that is only rear-wheel drive, and that is essentially a supercar. That's the same engine that's in the slightly modified that's in the GT-AM, which is a $150,000+ car. Okay, regardless of the engines though, all of the Giulias from the base model all the way to the GT-AM, they all share the same chassis and interiors and similar suspension. The only difference with the interior is going to be some of the touch materials and things like that. Steering wheel, you can option out some better seats in the Quadrifoglio and the GT-AM. And when it comes to the steering components, the steering knuckles and things like that, and obviously the spring rates are different because the V6 is heavier than the 4-cylinder inline turbo. If we go and address the common problems that happen to the Alfa Romeo Giulia, let's talk about it. The biggest number one problem that happens to these cars is, believe it or not, the battery. The batteries are located in the trunk of these cars, which is nice. So the battery's in the trunk here. My trunk's a mess right now, but I'll show you. The battery is in this little hidden compartment here. I don't know if you guys can see this well. It's got two knobs right here. You turn them, you pop it out, and the battery is right there, okay? On a lot of brand new Giulias that just came off the boat from Italy, they get shipped over in the ocean, right? With salty sea air and stuff like that. So sometimes the terminals can get corroded. That's a negative terminal and a positive terminal. And it can cause a host of electrical issues in the car. It's a very common problem with brand new Giulias. The solution is very simple. Either get a new battery or clean off the post terminals on the battery and you're good to go. Boom. The other very common problem is the radiator. So in the earlier models of the Giulia, this is a 2018, so it's one of the earlier models, the radiators tend to leak near one of the seams at the bottom or the top. Well, it's at the bottom most of the time of the radiator. But Alfa Romeo has put out a service bulletin for this, and oh wow, nice butterfly. Getting distracted. Anyway, Alfa Romeo has put out a service bulletin for this. AlfaCare takes good care of you, especially if you're still under warranty. Bring the car to the dealership, and most likely they will swap out the radiator, no charge. That's exactly what happened to me. I told them about the issue, made an appointment, took the car up there, and I kid you not, within 3 hours, they had a new radiator, a brand new radiator in my car, and I was back on the road, good to go, and I've had zero issues since. The last thing that is or can be an issue is sometimes the performance will kind of, the car will start pulling power, and that's because there's a relay in the front of the car that goes to the charge air cooler. Essentially, in a nutshell, it's a fuse that you can access through the wheel well. You unscrew some nuts or some bolts, pull the wheel well back. It's a little fuse box. There's a little fuse in there. Replace that fuse. That tends to go bad, and you have full power restored again. I had that issue. I noticed the car wasn't pulling as hard as it normally would. Did some research. I threw a code, and it was a code for the charge air, coolant, water pump, a bunch of other things came up. I'll put the code up on the screen. So if you're throwing this code, that's because of that relay. Super simple fix. I actually took the relay. It's the same fuse from the defroster, from the rear windshield defroster. I took that fuse from over there, put it up front, threw the old one away. Car's working excellently again. I will have to go and buy another rear defroster fuse eventually, but it's not priority as long as the car's running great. And this is Texas. It doesn't get that cold, so, you know, knock on wood. So, okay, besides those are the only issues that I've had with this car, period. And I personally haven't even experienced the battery issue. In order to circumvent that, I just put the car on a battery tender every chance that I get. Battery tenders are cheap insurance that honestly every car owner should have and use from time to time, especially during the colder months of the year. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that you get with an Alfa Romeo Giulia for this price point. I mean, under $30,000, you get a forged engine, carbon fiber drive shaft. My particular model is the Q4 Ti Sport, so it is one step below the Quadrifoglio. It's got the 5-hole wheels here. I've got all-wheel drive, you know, a Garrett turbo from the factory. This amazing interior. Let me show you this interior here. I mean, look at this. Just absolutely beautiful. This, you know, with obvious design cues and hints from Ferrari, which Alfa and Fiat collaborated with in the design and execution of this car. I mean, this is so beautiful. These seats, real leather with the adjustable bolstering for the track, as well as the adjustable leg throw. I mean, it's just awesome. You know, dual climate control, heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that kind of stuff. It's got the lights that turn on when you turn. You know, it'll illuminate so you don't hit a curb. All those great things. And it's got that awesome 8-speed ZF transmission, which is now famous for awesome performance. It's the same transmission that's in the A90 Supra. BMW uses this transmission. It's the same transmission that's in the Quadrifoglio models. The ZF transmission is absolutely amazing. Yes, it's an automatic. No, it's not a dual clutch, but many tests have been done, and it is right up there on par with the dual clutch transmissions that, you know, Volkswagen and Porsche and them like to use. This 8-speed is amazing. And a really cool bonus feature is that all Giulias have race mode latent in their transmission. So while only the Quadrifoglio models allow you to access race mode stock, you can actually have race mode unlocked, which I have had done. You can have it unlocked in all Giulia models. So if you do have a base model like the Lusso or the Sprint, which doesn't have paddle shifters or the nice seats or anything like that, you can have race mode unlocked in your car, which is pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, and with a tune, you can run 12 seconds in the quarter mile and very low 4 seconds, 0 to 60. People have actually gone way faster than I've gone with just a JB4, stock exhaust, everything. And obviously there's a lot of factors that go into performance. There's, you know, we're not going to dive into that, depending on where you live, what mods you have done to the car, yada, yada, yada. My point is that for what you pay, the styling, the luxury, the handling, the world-class handling, which you will not find in any other sports sedan at this price point, you can't beat it. The CLA 45 AMG, Audi S3, Audi A4, Kia Stinger, Kia Genesis G70, the TLX Type S, they all come close, and in some categories they beat this car, especially performance, stock for stock. However, none of them beat this car in every category, especially the price point, 100%. And I'll put money that this car will outhandle all of the competition. The CLA 45 AMG, Audi S3, the Kia Stinger, and the G70, that's a no-brainer. Those things are boats. And I say that because this car, even though it's all-wheel drive, it is rear-wheel drive biased. So it's got a longitudinally aligned 4-cylinder. So all Giulias are rear-wheel drive biased, and it only engages the front wheels when it notices the slip. And because it shares the same exact chassis as the Quadrifoglio and the GT-AM, which are supercars, you're essentially buying a supercar chassis for economy car prices. And it's lighter than the Quadrifoglio because it only has a 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbo engine in it. So when you do the math, you realize that this thing is an awesome bang for the buck. As you guys may or may not know, I have autocrossed this thing. I've done 2 track days on it. Since I bought it this May of this year, I've taken it to Circuit of the Americas. Yeah, I know. I've taken it to Speed Sports in Houston. Like I said, I've autocrossed this car. I have done probably over 50 hard 0 to 60 quarter-mile launches in this car. I daily drive it every day. I've taken it well above triple-digit speeds several times. It is just an amazing performance vehicle. I could go on and on and on about it. But anyway, so if that's a testament to the reliability of this vehicle, I don't know what is. I've done all the oil changes myself. I've changed the spark plugs, changed the air filter. Once again, with any car, you've got to maintain it, right? Especially with this car, especially with a turbo, high performance turbo car like this. You need to make sure the oil's good. You need to make sure that the coolant is fresh. You're staying on things. You're maintaining the car well. Other than that, as long as you're doing regular maintenance like you should be doing with any car, you're not going to have any issues, and it's going to be all smiles. Some of the suspension things I forgot to mention. I lowered it. I put lowering springs in the car, spacers. It's got aftermarket brake rotors and pads for the track. And I'm telling you, this thing has been an absolute dream to own. It's been a dream to drive. This thing gets attention and looks everywhere. People stop me everywhere I go and want to talk about it, want to ask me what it is and what it's like to own and drive. And I have nothing but positive things to say, folks. I did a lot of research on this car before I bought it because I didn't want to get into another fiasco like the Focus ST, which is a reliability nightmare. And I've had no serious issues with this car at all. But anyway, So I hope this video was helpful for those of you who are seriously wondering about the reliability of these vehicles, because either you own one or you're looking to buy one. As always, buy smart, and if you own one, own it smart. Do the right maintenance, do your research, hit up the forums, ask around, all those kinds of things. But they truly are a wonder and a pleasure to own and drive, and I mean that seriously. All right, y'all, it was fun. As always, I got more content coming down the pipe. Still some more mods to do, experiences to have. Starting next year, I plan on doing an autocross series where I take this car to autocross and you know, see how well we can do. Maybe I'll buy a set of race tires, who knows. And then I'm gonna do some canyon runs and stuff like that. But we got some stuff planned for next year, so it should be fun. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the channel. Trying to do as much Alfa Romeo stuff as I can. There's not much out there, so I'm trying to do some stuff. So anyway, until next time, you know where to find me: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.